Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. This video was very hard to write. I guess I never would have thought Sentai would end, at least not in my lifetime. I mean, it's just been a constant that was just always there. It's like Christmas, right? It's like it happens every year whether you celebrate it or not. Sentai, same thing. It's always there whether you watch it or not. Yes, I know we're going to be getting a Versus movie and a TTFC special soon. There's going to be other movies and specials, in the future, whenever those happen. But as of now, Super Sentai, the show, the series, it's gone. I did a video on the actual 50th anniversary of Super Sentai. And in that video, I actually mentioned that I've been a fan of this stuff for 20 years, starting with Maho Sentai Maji Ranger back when I was a teenager. Man, it's been a long time. It's crazy. That was also around the same time I actually started collecting toys, both Power Rangers and Super Sentai, and the Sentai stuff I bought was pretty much exclusively from Mitsuwa Marketplace, which is a Japanese store that's actually not from Japan. It's actually from the US, which is interesting. And back in the day, Mitsuwa had a bunch of Sentai stuff. There were Sentai Hero vinyl figures, gimmick items, candy toys, TV magazines, not so much DX stuff. But there was still a pretty good selection back then, especially for someone like me who was brand new into both the Sentai world and the collecting world. And years later, after getting my first part-time job, I started looking into buying Sentai toys online and importing them from Japan. And I saw a bunch of other people do it online, so I was like, hey, why not? I got the money, right? Oh man, I did not know what I was getting myself into, especially around this time because this was when Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger was airing and, Ranger Keys. Oh, Ranger Keys, they're still so cool, even 15 years later, and they're still making them, still pumping them out, still waiting on that Gozyuger Ranger Key announcement, but anyways, I needed some in my life, so my first ever imported purchase was the Gozyuger Ranger Key set. And your boy didn't stop there. I bought Ranger Keys upon Ranger Keys upon Ranger Keys, continued to do so during Go Busters, eventually bought the Legend Mobiritz. I never actually had a regular Mobiritz. I don't know why. Then Gozyuger happened and I bought the Gabu Revolver, which is still actually my favorite changer to date. And got, of course, got a bunch of Judenshi. Then Tokyuger came along, and I actually bought the mecha, which actually Tokyo was my first Sentai mech I ever bought. I mean, it was essentially the gimmick too, so it kind of worked out. But anyways, Ninja came along, and I bought the gimmicks, changers, and one of the mecha, I think. Juoger, I bought a whole bunch of cubes. And looking back on it now, I was definitely buying more and more as the years went by. Like I said, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And then Q Ranger happened. Oh my goodness, Q Ranger, the first team to start out with 9 members on a team. 9 members. That meant even more toys than normal. And yes, I bought the things. I bought a lot of the things. The Seiza Blaster, all the mech, a whole freaking bunch of Q-Tama. It was honestly a really, really fun toy line. And it was that year, 2017, that I decided to take the leap and go on my first trip to Japan. I had no idea what I was doing. I had things I wanted to do, things I wanted to see, but I knew next to no Japanese. I hadn't even been outside of the continent at that point. But a solo trip to Japan was something that I had wanted to do ever since becoming a fan of Super Sentai. And I'm so glad I went. I had a blast. I was mostly in Tokyo, where I went to a lot of the different shops to get Sentai and Rider stuff. I also went to Kyoto for a day and went to the Toei Kyoto Studio Park, which is actually where they film movies specifically set in the Edo period. So anytime you see an Edo era set in a Sentai or Rider movie, that's this place. So there's also a museum inside, and they change the layout every once in a while, but when I went, they had mannequins of all the Reds up to Q Ranger. And at that point in my life, I hadn't seen anything like that. I was blown away. I remember one of the things I wanted to get in Tokyo was the Orion Battler, which I did, but not exactly the smartest idea, because I only brought one suitcase for the trip, and that box was massive. It took up most of my suitcase, probably like 80% of my suitcase. But I somehow made it work. I really don't know how I did that, but man, good times. Soon after the trip, I decided that I definitely wanted to come back to live in Japan. I had been thinking about it before, in terms of like work and stuff. I just, I didn't really know what to do or anything. But after that trip, I was like, I gotta do it. I thought to myself, you know what, just try it out for a year. See how it goes. So the following year, in October of 2018, I did just that. I moved, realized that my apartment at the time was near a Toys R Us, which had just died in the US. So that just worked out really well. And I started doing Sentai toy hunts there and so many other shops in Japan, of course. And over 7 years later, I'm still here. I have a full-time job here. I'm building a family of my own. And YouTubing has never been more successful. Of course, Sentai isn't the only reason why I moved to Japan. There are a plethora of reasons. It was a pretty big decision, even if I was only intending to stay a year or two. So there was a lot to consider, but I do need to give credit where credit is due. Without Super Sentai, I might have not even have had the idea of moving to Japan. Or maybe I would have, but maybe I wouldn't have stayed as long. I honestly don't know. But if I hadn't moved here, I wouldn't have met the person who is now my wife, or experienced all the things that I have up until this point in my life. But this franchise has changed my life and my perspective of things in other ways. It's taught me about camaraderie, forming bonds, sharing a common goal, being courageous and empathetic. I'm sure both consciously and subconsciously I've made hundreds or even thousands of decisions based on the lessons I've learned from Sentai. Man, I know it's a show meant for Japanese children, but like this means so much to me. I love this show so damn much, and I'm so sad that it's ending. I really am. I'm gonna miss seeing a new episode on TV every Sunday. I'm gonna miss going to the store and hunting for new Sentai toys. This sucks. This sucks, man. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This sucks so bad. I hate this. I don't want Sentai to end. If I was John Toy or whoever's in charge, I'd keep making new Sentai shows for the rest of eternity. So what if toy sales are low? Whatever. I mean, I would personally fund the show myself. Here's my paycheck. Go make more. Just go make more. But of course, I'll be checking out Project Red. Of course, I want to give it a fair chance. Right now, the toys are a little for me, but maybe I'll warm up to them, and maybe I'll end up enjoying Gavan Infinity. But honestly, if I had to be completely honest, even if I enjoy the show, even if I end up loving the toys, it's just not going to have the same impact that Sentai has on me. It's just not. As much as I love Kamen Rider, it also doesn't have that same impact. And I think a lot of it is because of, well, of course, nostalgia, right? The nostalgia factor that Sentai has for me. Like I said, Super Sentai has been in my life for 20 years. I was a child, I was a teenager when I became a fan of this stuff, and I'm more of a fan now as an adult than I have ever been. But the nostalgia is just on top of the colorful suits, the mech, the fight scenes, the stories, the characters, the teamwork, and the lessons that Sentai has brought. Now, do I think Super Sentai will come back? Now we know that the producers or whoever is running Sentai, they have mentioned that maybe, possibly, if it were to come back, it would be 10 years. That doesn't mean it will come back. But after attending events like the Zen Super Sentai 50th Anniversary Exhibition, or even watching the recent Cho Eusai, has 100% convinced me that yes, Super Sentai will come back. If you don't know, Cho Eusai is a 2-day concert that's held every year in Yokohama. And a bunch of artists and performers from both Super Sentai and Kamen Rider gather to perform for fans. I unfortunately did not go in person, but you can buy a ticket to watch the performance online, and man, I really, really wish I had gone. It looked like a lot of fun, and it really felt like it was a farewell, or I guess a see you later for Super Sentai. People got to meet all 50 Reds, and they performed a new song called the Super Sentai song that features catchphrases from each show. Oh my God, it looks so good. Why didn't I go? But I am very, very, very thankful that I did get to go to the Zen Super Sentai 50th Anniversary Exhibition. Oh my gosh, what an amazing experience. You can really, really feel that, no matter what gender you are, no matter where you're from, no matter who you are, people love this show and will continue to love this show. It'll be back one day. I don't know when. I don't know if it'll be 10 years from now. I don't know if it'll be 20 years from now. 30. I hope it's not that long. Please, I really hope it's not that long. But when it does come back, I'll be there. I'll be there to watch the show. I'll be there to buy the toys. And I will be there to embrace this absolutely beautiful franchise. And lastly, I do want to say thank you, Super Sentai. Thank you so much, Super Sentai, for the last 50 years. Everything that you have given this world. Specifically for me, thank you for the last 20 years. These last 20 years of my life, like, loving this stuff, man. It's just, man, it's been a gift. It really has. Super Sentai is a gift. Again, we still got a lot to look forward to. We got the Versus movie, we got the TTFC special, and we're still going to be talking about Super Sentai here on the channel. It absolutely, like, it's not, just because there's no more show doesn't mean we'll stop talking about it. It doesn't mean I'll stop loving this freaking franchise. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow us on our social media below. We also have a Discord, so make sure to fix the toys, collectibles, all that good stuff. And thank you so much, Super Sentai.